Very surprised aren't here. I feel bad for Steve Brown. Yeah, like he showed up ready to play. So who didn't show up? We are live. Alright, so hold off for whip check. Pass.
Hey there.
Yeah.
So we're doing a live bat rep here at Infinity.
So I'm going
It's brought to you by 40 Below Gaming. So the mission we have here is acquisition, and we got Sid and Rory participating.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm going to deploy.
Sid's playing Pano, and Rory's playing Hack a Slam.
I want to deploy second. Deploy second. Alright.
So you're deploying second,
I
Rory?
guess I'll
Okay.
go second.
Deploying second.
We're gonna have an uphill battle from this point on. I really wanted that ghost to play second role.
I know you did.
So you're deploying second, but going first.
Right.
Okay. You're deploying first, but going second. And the point of the mission, it's acquisition, so that rhymes. I like that. There's two antennas and one tech coffin, and the tech coffin's in the middle of the board. You get an objective point by hacking each of the antennas, or having control of the antennas at the end of the game. And you get the most objective points for controlling the tech coffin.
Well, you chose deployment
end of the
order,
game
so
as
you
well.
would choose the side.
Okay. So you're deploying over here? Sweet.
I'm sitting around still, and I was like, oh, I didn't think I'd ever use this again.
Army list. Okay, we can talk about Rory's Hack a Slam here. So he's just playing vanilla Hack a Slam. I'm looking at his courtesy list here, which would be given to Sid at the end of your deployment. But we can go over it. We can talk about it.
My actual winning board, and I'll just give this to Sid.
You can deploy first and then hand it to him if you
You
want.
pretty much know each other's lists at this point.
Yeah, it's a pretty friendly game. It's the first round of this live stream thing, so. So Rory's got a couple Gulams, 3 Gulams, a Gulam hacker, a Najara engineer, an Alpha Sid heavy machine gun, Jambazan sniper rifle, and a Ghazi Mutuia in his first combat group. The second one, he's got the Shitanaya remote, the Shihab remote, Gulam Doctor with a Nazmat, and 3 more Ghazi Mutts. So that's Rory's courtesy list. You're on this side over here.
Yeah, I'm just moving all my stuff over there. EVP Ultra Round and Hidden City.
So our sponsors for today's event are EVP Ultra Lounge here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and Hidden City Comics, also Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're actually playing at EVP Ultra Lounge right now. Pretty cool place, lots of awesome computers, friendly staff. It's very cool. So you're checking lines of sight over there, Sid?
Yeah, see if I can hide this guy behind the car.
S4.
I don't think so, though.
Put the silhouette down. Let's see. Yeah, you can get shots off on him. Partial cover. That's the Peacemaker with the Oxbot?
Yep.
Sweet.
Spitfire.
For those of you who don't know, who maybe have never visited the lovely city of Winnipeg, Manitoba, 5 months out of the year it is a frozen wasteland dominated by large snow-based trolls. Pretty much spend the majority of my time living in an igloo. But the other months of the year it is a beautiful summer sunny paradise, which we are currently coming to the end of. So if you've never purchased a plane ticket down to Winnipeg, half of the time you're missing out. The other half of the time you're probably better off not to. This is a preliminary test of our live streaming capability here at 40 Below Gaming. 40 Below sponsors Infinity, 40K, and Age of Sigmar Gaming, which we all have going down at PvP right now. So I believe later we will be streaming a 40K game. So if you are a 40K fan, you can stick around for that. But in the meantime, we will be doing some Infinity. And if you are watching and would like to comment about your army, maybe share some lists that you enjoy playing, we would be more than happy to hear that. Okay, well, I've been instructed to keep on talking, so I am going to keep on talking while Sid does a whole bunch of thinking here. We have some great terrain, both kind of your budget terrain mixed in with a little bit of more expensive stuff. So, I mean, I think that's kind of the way to go, especially when you're starting out with Infinity. You don't need to break the bank. There are a lot of really great options that we do have. So... Oh, that's okay. Yep, no, bending over is not one of my favorite things to do. Okay. If you didn't hear the second part of that conversation, that was a weird comment for me to make right now. Again, this is a preliminary test of our ability to do this, so hopefully we can bring you more of these and it'll be a little bit more clean cut, but in the time being, this is our test. So we did have our local workhorse, Scott, who will be doing most of the commentary on this game. I explained the mission earlier. Hopefully you caught that. I'm sure he'll be going over it again later. We have a game right now versus Haqqislam versus Pano, both vanilla. So hope you like your ice cream easy to digest. I don't know where I'm going with that, but vanilla. Vanilla is good. It's a good flavor. It's my favorite flavor because I am boring. I am a white, boring guy. Sid is currently positioning a bunch of stuff up on buildings, so it's looking like he's going for those fire lanes. And as a Haqqislam player, I like to hide in the shadows. So when he makes that difficult, I have a difficult game ahead of me. Also the Jodam. 100 points to go fuck yourself, which I typically don't enjoy playing against, but hopefully today I've got the tools that I need to deal with it. If you let that thing run amok, though, it will run amok. So even with the low model or the low order count, he doesn't need a whole lot to do a whole lot. I don't know about Sid's army, but for the Haqqislam army that I'm playing right now, I've got, I believe, 7 regular, 1 irregular, and 1 impetuous in Group 1, 5 regular, 3 irregular, and 3 impetuous in Group 2. So not the most overstacked Hawk list that you could have, but I do have enough orders to hopefully get some stuff done. So Again,
I'm missing one. I
I'm
have this
Rory
little wood
Tracy,
token.
and my opponent is Sid Sector. So hopefully we can have a clean game and keep all the punches above the belt.
Do you have a ton of them actually? I'll put like everything on prone.
They're on here.
Yes.
I'm gonna do like a deployment zone shot with this dude.
I do a little bit of commentary, but I think it's mostly.
Well, it's like it's gonna be difficult. So I don't want to talk too much about strategy when I'm sitting next to you guys.
Even more if you just kind of go over like what's going on, what's happening.
So that can go prone.
Also, for the 40K fans that are watching, if you play both, like most of us do, you'll notice that my HVT is a scout. So, fluff-wise, I'm going to call him a Hawk Islam genetic experiment that went kind of wrong. His head's too big and his hands are too big. Maybe the goal of our insurgency today is to make sure no one sees that we've been toying with the human genome.
Slayer prone behind the building.
Fusilier hacker.
Fusilier hacker back here. Got the Peacemaker with its ox squat behind the vending machine. Got another Fusilier over here, prone behind the ladder, with the Machinist prone up here on the building. Got the Orc Trooper also prone up here on a building. Got another Fusilier down by the vending machine, getting some coke. We got a Nisei Sniper with a Trauma Doc hanging out up here on the other building, watching this main fire lane over here. And we still got the holdbacks to come as well. So.
Hey, my deployment. Go. I'm going second, right?
You're going first. So you're going first, you can deploy a little more aggressively, potentially.
Pretty sure I said I was going second. Going first, whatever. Too late now. Well, I'm going first. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my HVT model has to go down too.
Yeah. Minimum 16 inches away from your table edge.
Yeah, see, I wanted to go second. So I had.
You wanted to deploy second and
I didn't care when I deployed. I wanted second turn.
oh yeah?
Why didn't you choose second turn? I would have gladly agreed to deploy second.
What's the strategy behind going second?
My happy face marker.
Oh, you want to deploy him
I wanted to have a last drop.
last drop, right?
Oh well, whatever.
But you're still going. You're deploying second, going first, which is pretty good in most
Yeah.
cases. Because you get to see where he is and then like act first. So that's pretty good.
Does the oh, I don't even care. He's prone, right? The
Yeah.
orc.
So Rory's deploying here. See lots of Gazi. See some.
No surprise with Gazi.
They're kind of a staple in every Hack Islam army. I mean, 5 points, all the little gadgets they have, can't go wrong.
The Jammers on the 5 point as well?
Yeah, they're on all of them.
Yeah, see, 5 points for chain rifle and Jammer, you know,
Yeah.
that's quality right there.
I've been toying with using the boarding shotgun just to have like and like to force face-to-face rolls, like because if you just throw down a template, like they can shoot you and it's like a normal roll and they'll hit you and stuff. And I mean, granted, yeah, and like granted they have dog hits, so they can maybe take a hit, you know. I just want to see how it goes. Like I'm loving the way impact templates work, where you can hit the guy and like you can catch people behind them and maybe get 2 other dudes in the crossfire. It's great.
Oh shit, sorry. Wait. Totally sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dog really helps, like, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt for a lot of people because like you think you like okay I just gotta hit him once and like he's out and it's like no like, he's gonna get at least 2 chain rifles in unless I have
He's
like
got some
shock
more
ammo.
orders coming into him.
Yeah, or double action or something.
Yeah, something to take him out in a single hit.
Yeah. So there's I mean as far as counters to Gazis, I mean other warband troops.
Yeah,
with
they're the most efficient counters.
yeah, throw down a template against a template maybe or
Bait.
yeah. I mean with this much terrain on the table, it's hard to get like a good ARO piece to shoot him. Like, you know, a Nisei with the sniper rifle would be great because like if he tries to throw smoke, doesn't matter
Yeah, you've got MSV2 on the...
on the Niseis.
Yeah.
So we tend to play with a ton of terrain here.
We do
which
go
you
very
can see.
terrain heavy.
Yeah.
As I said, I think that's a little bit of a hangover from the 40k mentality. It's like, we hear terrain heavy, and it's like, oh, we gotta go really heavy.
really heavy.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Like it changes the game dynamic and it's cool. Like I mean, if you're playing in a city at least, like there's going to be a lot of junk hanging around, lots of buildings.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Really makes you think about your lines of fire, your movement, your angles.
Totally. Yeah.
Something as someone who's just getting into Infinity that I'm really trying to get down.
Yeah, definitely.
I've learned that lesson a couple games now, watching my flanks.
Yeah, you gotta have guys covering your deployment zones because you never know about AD troops and.
It's
you know.
true. And the mentality that I was holding the last game that I did this was too central. It was too much bunched together.
Yeah.
If I'd had a little more spread, I would have had more maneuverability to counter the pushes up the flanks.
Yeah.
Instead of me trying to spearhead up the center.
Yeah, it's toolboxy. Like I look at when I deploy, it's like I want to have. Like, I know where my objectives are, I need to have specialists near them, but I also want to have tools that I think will work. I mean, if I'm going second, I know where his guys are,
Certainly,
so like,
yeah.
okay, he's got to do with like ODD, I need some MSV on that side and stuff, but just
You
as,
line
like,
up your appropriate counters.
yeah, exactly, and just as like a generic thing, if I'm going first, like, maybe not going to put all my long-range weapons. I'm maybe not going to put all my long-range weapons on one side, because like, what if there's a problem on the other side of the board that needs a long-range weapon? With this much terrain, it's like...
Right, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself.
Exactly, yeah. It was a game I was playing the other day. I had a Sekban rocket launcher on one side and my Jambazan HMG on the other. Worked out really well.
Sure. You've got enough long range to cover both of your lanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I think my issue was when I was doing my deployment, I had that central building. I dumped the HMG TR piece, the pot,
Yeah.
and then I had my fire team with the missile launcher like within about 8-10 inches of it. So I'm clumped all together in the middle and hoping to kind of be my shots out.
Yeah, for sure.
And meanwhile, for him, it's like, okay, I only have this one spot to focus on.
Yeah, especially when you've got large teardrop templates
Absolutely.
on the Gazies, you just start putting them down.
I think it's deployment
Yeah.
order. Right. Your holdback's the same as your deployment order, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did do it right.
Yeah.
So I'll
Sid would deploy his force, you deploy yours. Sid deploys his reserve model, you deploy your reserve model.
I know why I have such a hard time with
I don't know.
30 games in, still can't figure
Yeah.
Well, no one has Strategos out there, so no messing with that.
Strategos, yeah, that's right.
Strategos, yeah.
Actually, other Scott C did that to me. He used Sun C, and I was like, I
Yeah.
had Fide, and like Fide is
Yeah.
always my reserve model because it's like just makes so much sense. And he used Sun Z, and it's like the whole point of Fide is to be able to like go last and pick the perfect spot to mess with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He still did work, but yeah, it was good. I'm interested to see how.
impersonation marker.
I'm interested to see how Rory uses Fide here. I think.
I'm curious to see what he does with them in this one.
Yeah.
The game against me, he was pretty aggressive with deployment on him.
Mm-hmm.
He managed to get the impersonation going and he got right in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
And tucked him right by my Ruishi, which it made me nervous. I
Yeah.
didn't want this sitting right
right
there.
there. Take it out, no problem.
So I started trying to maneuver it up.
Oh, what do we have here? What's going on?
So impersonation marker.
So
Succeeded on your impersonation roll?
Rory pushed it, trying to be able to deploy into Sid's deployment zone with his Fide, and he succeeded on an 8.
Perhaps my favorite marker, the smiley face.
A smiley face marker, yeah.
Really, there's no bad intentions here.
All right. Maybe we should just do a shot of Rory's deployment zone with that camera.
So I'm moving to orders? From which pool?
Well, we courtesy. Give a courtesy list now, yeah.
And of course, we're doing the exchange of courtesy lists at this point. It does not reveal any of the hidden information.
Just doing some shots of Rory's deployment zone here.
Yep. We're going to take a little peek at how Rory has strategically deployed.
Hacker over here.
Yeah, I'll do from group 1. Already.
So down here, we've got the Gulam hacker, and we've got another Gulam.
From group 1.
Some more Gazies.
Some Gazzies up front there.
Jambazan sniper.
Ah, good old Jambazan. Whoa, Black Betty. Got another Gulam tucked back.
I believe that's the. Is that the smart missile back here? Or is that
That's HMG.
That's HMG.
So we've got the Total Reaction HMG
With an engineer beside him.
and the engineer.
Mm-hmm. Got some more Gazies. Always the Gazies.
Yep, we always have Gazzies tucked around.
Gulam Doctor.
The Dr. Gulam up front.
The smart missile bot.
Smart missiles.
The Facade being all dominant on top of a ladder or bridge here.
He likes to look intimidating, yeah. So, which facade is that? The heavy machine? Yeah. So, heavy machine gun facade.
More Gazies.
More Gazzies.
More Gulam.
More Gulam. Gazzies, bane of my existence.
And an Azmat over there.
Of course. All right, Azmat tucked in. All right.
So that's Azmat is looking.
That's what I'm saying. Like how the region. So impetuous orders first through one. First gather. So he's gonna go on the nearest
I'm an advisor. I consult in the shadows.
Then in sportscasting equivalent, you be the color commentator, you're giving the technical.
So these are the
Yeah.
closest guys. So
I'm the guy who's asking questions.
So I guess I'll just go
For sure. That's I'm more that suited for that.
All right.
And I like to draw things on screen, so if we can get that going,
Right.
that would be awesome. Well, first stream, so working out all the kinks.
Hey, yeah, this is our test stream. This is us trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. So,
Yeah, bear with us.
yeah, absolutely, folks. We will have tighter production in the future. But for now, hey, one more Infinity stream to add to the pile.
Yeah. So it looks like Rory's Gazzy are doing their impetuous orders right now. Taking one inside of a building here on the left.
It's advancing the second one up.
Yeah. No arrows. I think Sid null deployed pretty well.
Yeah.
You're throwing on most of the guys, right?
So that's the trouble with null deploying. Is like if you're safe, you're very safe, but you're giving your opponent a lot of
The opportunity to shift as needed. Yeah.
for sure.
Guy to this dude is
And
probably
Gazzies are kind of a unit you don't want to give them a ton of leeway.
No,
because
absolutely not.
Yeah, if they can get close with those jammers,
So first they've got their impetuous movement,
Yeah.
and then you can start feeding the mortars to get them closer.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they get their impetuous, they get their irregular, and then they get whatever orders you have in the pool for
Well, that's
them.
right. They're irregular as well.
Yeah.
Well, you get to go around a building anyway.
And
so
the
whoever gets you
trouble is,
closer
like,
to-
if they get into a good position at the end of the turn, as soon as anybody activates within 8 inches of them, they're getting jammed. 'Cause
Yes.
It's an arrow jam. It's just a pain to deal
Yes,
with.
I discovered the pain of that one. Honestly, I should have read up on what they had done ahead of time because
Yeah.
I put myself in positions I shouldn't have just by lack of knowledge on them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this game is just knowing what units can do
There's
what.
so much, and
like,
there's so much that they can all do.
Yeah.
However, I enjoy that part of learning. I enjoy,
Yeah.
I made a hard misstep. What do I do next time to correct it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play through
Remember when I
HVT?
was learning, they said all your lessons are like
Okay.
paid in blood or like paid in defeats. Like
They're
you
all
just-
hard ones.
Yeah, you get smoked by something and then you never let it happen again.
What's that old
Yeah.
cliche? Cry in training so you can laugh on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
All right. So right now, Rory's just checking which of Sid's units are closest for the impetuous movement.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing about impetuous too is like I think a lot of new players look at them like it's a disadvantage that it forces movements because you're thinking like they're just going to run out and get shot.
Right.
But if you can plan ahead, thinking like, okay, if I put him here, his 4-inch impetuous will take him here.
Right.
It's actually not that bad. It becomes like a free order. Maybe you get a smoke grenade out of the other half of it.
If you're being
So-
cautious on your deployment
Yeah.
and your firing lanes.
Exactly. It's a little trickier with impetuous bikes because they're going to go like
8
8
inches.
inches. So you
Yeah.
have to plan a bit. for
Yeah.
that,
I got a little bit of that coming up, but
yeah. But you're Arigatos because Kyle, you play Yujing,
yes, JSA.
JSA Yujing.
Yep.
So your Arigatos I think is just regular.
They are regular impetuous.
So you can just choose not to if it's
Yeah.
not a good situation.
Yojimbo, the mercenary, is the only one I have that's extremely.
Right. Yeah.
And actually learned that for the first time the other day. That was interesting.
Yeah. How did Yujimbo do?
I misused him,
Yeah.
and Rory got him isolated right at the end.
Well, nice. Well, so Rory threw some smoke here, and it seems to be successful.
Got a successful smoke drop.
Yeah. Oh man, I played a game the other day. I think I threw 6 smoke grenades.
And they just didn't
needing
connect, right?
15s and like nothing
Oh.
connected. That's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah.
It is. You can use your tactics as well as possible. You can minimize and maximize your percentages,
Yeah.
but it's still dice.
You get dice.
It's still dice.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so now Rory is going on to the irregular orders.
Yeah.
So now that they've done their extremely impetuous, they're allowed to shift to regular
Yeah.
or irregular orders.
Impetuous has to come first.
Right.
In irregular, you can do at any point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second half.
You can also, which I learned because I've been playing Hack Islam, which
Yes.
my armies have a ton of irregular orders. At any point during your turn, you can spend a command token to flip one into a regular, from an irregular to a regular.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
which
So you
is-
can do a conversion.
Yeah, it's super helpful. 'cause
Does it
then-
convert for the rest of the game or just that turn?
It's just that turn.
That's still valuable for that turn.
Yeah. So I usually, when I play with Dailami, which just end up being like essentially speed bumps, either they make their inferior infiltration roll and end
And they're
up
doing fine, or
they're sitting at the back with a Panzerfaust. But sometimes I'll just convert their irregular order into a regular so that
Yeah.
Fide or Majan has more
That's what I'm
more to
checking
work
outside
with.
with. Yeah.
All right. Looks like there's possibility of an arrow from Sid on the second half of the movement here. I think they were just double checking at this point. And
Any arrows on that? Or?
No, I thought it was an HVT that I was worried about. Apparently.
oh, the HVT had the arrow.
It's kind of nice actually. Like, new one on there.
Of course, with Rory and Sid here, they are both newer to
Yeah.
Infinity.
You guys all picked it up like around 2 months ago,
I think
3
it was
months.
beginning mid-July.
Yeah. I mean,
Interestingly enough, right after 8th edition dropped for 40K.
yeah. Yeah, that did help with the recruitment a little bit.
We also had a fair number of us, I think, that were interested, but had never
Yeah.
taken the step, and it was kind of like a group. Okay, everyone, hold your hand. And
Yeah, that's the nice thing about like the community. Once
Probably
you get
not.
that snowball rolling, it becomes so much easier to pick up more people.
So it's like there was no arrows on this movement.
Yeah.
He's
Nothing
doing
here.
his second half of his order, shift.
Nothing here either.
It looks like Rory's moving up without any opposition.
Yeah. It's gonna have a lot of board control because there's a.
Well, I think there's a difference in order pools as well in terms
Yeah.
of the size of the armies.
Yeah. Although where did we didn't see where the big dog went. Jodam is around here somewhere. There is a giant tag hiding
Yes.
behind the building somewhere.
So the tags I find are, as someone who recently got in, one of those
Yeah.
things that really hook people onto Infinity. They're like, oh, you've got that big robot.
Giant robots,
Yeah,
yeah.
right?
You know, there's no. I mean, I guess like
Come for the robots, stay for the tactics.
yeah. Like if you come from 40K, like and you like Space Marines, they have some of that too. Like I mean, the Facade kind of looks like a more like
The more heavy armored ones
Yeah.
definitely share a similar feel. Yeah.
and power armored heavy infantry is
Yep.
super cool. And
Some of the heavy Pano guys, some
Yeah.
of the heavy Eugene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially like the Aquila Guard with the trench
Yes.
coat. When you put heavy infantry with a badass trench coat and a machine gun, it's just like
It's
that's
intimidating
super
looking,
cool.
yeah.
Even the pose, like the one that the new one is just like him holding the heavy machine gun up in the air and like walking ominously towards you.
All right,
Awesome.
Rory's ready for aggression.
All right.
The seed has moved.
I don't think so.
Second half.
He's now going to shift.
Yeah.
I believe on Sid's side, everyone is prone at the moment.
Yeah. Sid did the null deploy,
Absolutely.
making it very hard to find targets.
Yes, because once you go prone, it switches your silhouette value, correct?
Yeah, you're the size of your base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Which
is
is
certain units that can't
yeah, remotes can't go
Yeah.
prone. Tags,
tags. That makes sense.
motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a motorcycle to lay right down.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to damage it and like
All right.
ruin all the fenders and stuff. Yeah.
Misalign your weapons.
Yeah. And the important thing too is when you shoot a remote, it doesn't fall prone the size of its base. It still blocks line of sight as if
It's
it was.
still the same
Yeah.
silhouette size.
So you can use it to crawl guys behind and stuff.
So get the big butt in the way, and then you can
Yeah.
have the distraction.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
It's one thing I want to do a little bit more with my nomads. Start running more remotes. They're just so awesome with the hacking programs and like
Yes.
especially the repeater networks you can throw down with because all their attack remotes like the Skylon and the Lunicod, they're all repeaters. So you move them up the board, and not only do you have like these really effective remotes that can have hacking programs on them, but you also have the repeater coverage. Assuming you're going to have like a interventor hacker or something in the backfield, so it's just really effective.
So when you are having the repeaters out there, that means your hacker is able to use them as though that was his
Yeah.
own control, correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
So like, if you've got two attack remotes in the middle of the board, I mean, they each have 8 inches on either side,
Yeah.
and like any heavy infantry, another remote tag walks within 8 inches of that, they can get hacked through ARO from your hackers.
All right. Looks like the Gulam, or the Ghazi, I should say, is taking some regular orders now.
Got a Ghazi coming up on the side here.
Now this is what has instilled the fear of Ghazi in me: is how quick they get up that one edge.
Yeah. Well, if you think like, so impetuous order, irregular order, and then a regular order.
Yeah, so if you're doing
so that's
move on
24
all of
inches
them.
of movement. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why sometimes it's good to have a few ARO pieces just to stop them and slow them down, because if nothing's watching, then it's just 24 inches. Now I'm within jammer range. I'm
Yeah,
within,
and leaving that unopposed is difficult.
Yeah, you're stuck there resetting. Yeah. That's one of the things I think in the community people have kind of been asking for, is to make comms equipment, or make the jammer comms equipment, because like hackers can't disable it. There's really no way to. Like you'd have to isolate the Ghazi, I think.
What did you
just do there?
Well, I don't know if it's not comms equipment, then yeah, you can't. Maybe it would still work. I don't know. So what's the
He's in
Ghazi,
pool 1, right?
No. Oh, sorry, that's the Fide.
Yeah.
Oh, Rory just realized he grabbed orders from the wrong pool, so he's correcting that now.
It happens a bit with Hack Islam, because
It does.
I'm always running 2 groups, and there's different dudes everywhere. It's
Well, the
tough to-
Caledonians, Ariadna, I guess, in general, has that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
which pool is this guy?
Other Scott ran like 20-something orders, and then he used William Wallace, so like all of the irregular orders
Became
became
regular.
yeah. So it was like 20 regular orders plus the Impetuous. There was just so much going on.
Yep.
Yeah,
It seems like it would be a very complex list to run, just based on the amount of models to shift and the amount of things that would be
yeah,
running.
yeah. It's a lot of moving parts with that, and your guys are squishy too. Like when
Yes.
you're playing that kind of order spam, like
Rory?
I mean,
You're not going to have the durability of a heavy
Yeah.
infantry when you're
Yeah.
a line or a skirmisher.
well, exactly. That's what. So with Yu Jing, like why I'm always saying like Huang Shi are amazing is because like they give 5-point regular orders to the most durable guys
Absolutely.
in your force. So you have like a Yan Hao with like
Yeah.
a HMRC, HRMC. You know the big
The
cannon,
heavy,
the 5, yeah, and
the
it's like.
rapid, magnetic cannon,
And he's
yeah.
got tons of orders because there's all these cheap guys, and then you can have like a Dao Fei in addition. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's one of the things that I'm lacking in JSA is access to something like the Kong Chi.
Yeah.
I can
That's cocked.
I can spam the Keisotsu, but
It was cocked, man. It wasn't
Yeah.
flat on the board.
what do we have going on over here?
Alright, I failed. Or I got beat. So what's the damage?
Damage 13.
So I got beat
one
case
of-
of 3. Beating 11s.
All right, so we had a Gazi trying to jam the Peacemaker armbot. Rory won the face-to-face, but Sid made his BTS roll.
which means the jamming is not successful.
Not successful.
Beat you.
Oh,
He attempted
Rory
it
tried
again.
it again. But Sid beat him.
Third order.
Just clock.
Now at this point, he's fed a couple orders into that.
Yeah.
It's going to become a very heavy investment if he chooses to continue to try and jam over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cocked dice with D20s.
That becomes one of
Very
the
flat.
challenges of this game. It's like you're in a good spot. There's the
Okay,
So we have
just
another
check
move and jam
he's gonna whip,
situation occurring.
Reset. Nice with 13.
Sniper is declaring reset.
Oh, I failed.
2 fails. So
Fail, fail. Rory, you used up your luck on Friday.
Try again.
it's jam fest over here.
We're going to feed a third regular order to this one.
Jamrock. Let's roll
Fails.
there.
Is that a 1?
I rolled a 1 as well.
Oh, then you. Yeah.
And we are having a case of the dice having their way with the game.
What's
as
happening with my
opposed to-
5-point models getting
It's
ultra easy jams on me?
the jam is effective, but it is still it's a 1 dice versus
Absolutely.
1 dice. So it's-
Absolutely.
One dice, yeah.
If I do order like this, can I do multiple jams?
you have to do it all on one target. Like a coordinated order has to be on the same target.
But would the target get +1 burst from the spearhead?
If they're all jamming, or
And we are feeding a fourth regular
That's how
order to
BS
this jam.
attacks work with coordinated, right?
yeah, but it's not +1 burst. It's just they get their burst cut in half. Everybody else gets 1 burst when shooting.
Oh, cut in half.
Yeah.
Jamming the sniper again.
Roy fails. I failed too.
Fail, fail.
So the interesting thing is, like I was
Come
going to
on,
say
Rory.
before, but before the jam fest happened, but
These are free things for
there's
you,
this balance
basically.
between like pushing too hard, like you're in a good spot and you're like, I really need
that
this
your
to
entire
happen,
piece?
and like
Overextending.
yeah, you realize like okay, like I've only got a few left, and if I want to save other things, I got to get them into positions. I got to put them on suppression.
That's interesting.
And it can be tempting when you're on a hot run with a single model,
Yeah.
keep it going.
Or you have it in your mind that this,
Like, we're
this should
basically
happen,
rolling,
this
yeah,
should be
same-
happening,
like,
and it just
these are the
doesn't.
same
You know,
odds.
Worked out the
And then I also get my
percentages,
armor
and the
set.
probability says, yeah, maybe.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and you should be
gonna
playing
bug me
the
about that
odds
one.
and
Of
knowing,
course,
like,
of
but
course.
it's like there's that point where it's like I gotta pull back here and do some other defensive work.
And it is much easier to calculate with the D20. Like
Yeah.
5% is every step. That's easier to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do like that.
when
I'm
you're
used to like the D6 thinking where it's like multiples of 16.
change,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's not as hard. It's just so much easier when it's like a 5.
Multiples of
Easy
5
5
become
numbers,
easier.
yeah.
Yep.
Although trying to figure out your odds when it's face to face, like when it's just like I
very
need to roll
difficult,
higher
yeah.
than a 5 or something.
That's not
like
bad, yeah.
that's easy, but it's like, oh, but what is it when he needs a 16 and I need a 13, and
Yeah.
then
What's the chance that I'm going to get
Yeah.
the crit, or that he's going to roll over, or he's going to fail?
yeah,
Or, yeah.
using the Infinity Dice calculator, I think it's like an app or a website. It's just it's really like for
It's a good
reviewing your
program.
own plays. Like
Yeah.
like I thought this was a good move. I can't calculate the odds in real time. I'll remember that situation though, and I'll go and run the numbers and see if like, oh, that was good. It didn't work out for me. or if maybe you find it was bad, you're like, well, okay, now I know. I'll refrain from that situation
Absolutely,
again.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Helps you learn that lesson.
exactly.
Now, I think in this case, Rory has hit that frustration where Plan A has not
Yeah.
hit effectively.
Plan G, Plan Gazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So starting to look at the board for maybe some defensive planning and where to set up so that when Sid starts activating his models, it's not just getting.
He doesn't want to be in too poor a position.
Yeah, you don't want to get like run over.
Absolutely. Feeding another order.
So the Sid is going on suppression fire.
I think that's a very smart move considering.
It's one thing with suppression too is you always got to remember that 24-inch maximum
It's the
range
maximum
band.
band. Yep.
Yeah, I
It
did that.
switches.
Yeah, I did that the other day. I put a Jean Bazin. He was just outside of my deployment zone on suppression fire. It's not the greatest idea because if he's just outside of my deployment zone, that means 24 inches across the board. Then in his deployment zone, all of his guys are outside of suppression range.
got a big
All
army.
it takes is a heavy machine gun. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
To pick him
just
off.
pick him off. Yeah.
What's
So-
in Group 1?
Yeah,
I can take
it's
an order.
nice to get the more shots for the ARO, but
Yeah.
it is the trade-off, that 24-inch max.
Yeah. Oh, we got Derek here. Just doing a live stream Infinity, so we're doing the commentary here, and these guys are playing. Nice. First run, so it's kind of like a test run. See how it goes. I think we're hoping they can get mics for these guys in addition to us for next time, so they can, be explaining.
Full commentary going. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, Rory's feeding an order to the sniper now. Damn, Bajan. And he's gone prone.
Jam is in.
Prone?
Very defensive.
Last order?
Last
now
order.
he's thinking hard for the final order. This is an important
I'm
maneuver
eager to get my
before
turn
Sid
going.
goes to his.
Oh. What's he doing?
Looks like it's going to a Gazi. I'm assuming probably wants to get it out of get it into some total cover, so he's not a easy target.
Here, I think he's moving towards his objectives.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they're only cheap models that are 5 points like your Guangxi or Gazis, like they're only 5 points, but they're not. You don't want to view them as 100% expendable. Like if you can hide them, like
that's still orders out of your list. That's still points out of your
Yeah.
list. They are less expensive and
Yeah.
a little easier to get going.
and
but
it's one less tool that you'll have in the future.
absolutely.
So
You
if
don't
have
want to take too many tools out of your box.
Yeah, if you have to spend an order to get them in total cover and it prevents him from getting killed easily, then it's a good play.
All done?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You can still ARO jam.
I know.
Payback for Friday.
Yeah.
Aero jam would be pretty good. Okay, so rectify my
All
order
right.
pool.
So that was the top of the first.
I got 9 orders.
No antennas were activated. And no classified objectives achieved.
Probably removing Gazis.
There's lots of food here at PvP Ultra Lounge.
Yeah.
Derek was just asking about it.
I'm very impressed actually with the selection they've been adding in. When they first started, it was just the drinks at the bar. Now they've
Yeah.
added a little bit, and they're continuing to expand. So PvP Cyber Lounge, wonderful place.
Lots of good food options. Yeah.
Yeah. Very generous to allow us to do our open gaming nights here.
Sniper is
Yep.
prone right now?
Also, some of the podcasts that we run.
We have some movement over here. Sid's first order, spending it on his Peacemaker.
Okay. Yeah, my movement complete. Move up to
Full move done.
here. Next will be your arrow.
Yep, so my ARO on the first guy. Big boy will be to jam.
Jam here and there. He gets the arrow against him.
So because the Peacemaker has a G-Sync Oxbot, the Peacemaker's getting an ARO from a Gazi, and I think there's another Gazi inside the yellow building there that can ARO the Oxbot.
Those are just two regulars, right?
Because they activate at the same time.
Yeah, but they all draw.
Yeah.
It's 2 models activating, but they 1 ARO essentially. Yeah, and you can pick either. You can pick the Oxbot, you can pick the Peacemaker. If you take out the Peacemaker, though, the Oxbot becomes
Right.
a nerd,
Ideally, you
so-
want to get the Peacemaker.
Yeah, he's the money right there.
I got Spitfire. Is this a face-to-face?
Jam versus shots? Yes, that's face to face.
Wicked. Alright, so my Spitfire's at a... Oh, I gotta move backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, mine has 0 pound.
Actually, what's your...
My Peacemaker is
armor on that
PS12.
thing?
Armor 1. I'm getting 4 shots though.
I know, I'm just debating whether or not to try to auto hit you.
It is a tough decision. Should he jam, force a face-to-face, or just take an auto hit with the template, the chain rifle from the Gazi?
I'm gonna...
Do you have a flamer?
Yeah, oh, it's a chain rifle.
Oh, so
Just
it's
a,
auto.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna chain rifle.
So the chain rifle was the decision.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart
So
arrow.
here, I guess
If
these
he
are
can,
normal
if you can
rolls.
point trade, I mean,
Absolutely.
2 hits.
it's a 5-point model that gets an auto hit on like a 20-something point model, so
So I need
that's
50.
pretty good.
It's efficient.
Yeah.
Fail 1.
Oh.
I'm gonna go dog it.
So the Gazi failed 1 armor save and is dogged. This is the beauty of the
Of the Gazi,
of
yes.
the Gazi dogged. Yeah.
It's their final impressive layer.
Oh, so Sid passed his armor save from the chain rifle.
Over here.
So Sid didn't start with a very large order. I
we
believe he
can
had
do armor
10
saves on each
total
other.
to start with,
Yeah.
and he lost one of
Damage
his
14, I believe.
guys, Fusilier.
Yeah.
So that leaves him with 9 to
Armor
start this.
save.
9.
That'll fail.
So this is 300 points. Yeah. Sid has a Yodam tag, which is taking up quite a substantial chunk of that. Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like on the side here there was a trade-off, a Gazi and an Oxblock.
His job.
Both templated each other. Both died.
That's a fair trade.
That's a fire
If I was
one.
doing the Gazi, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Did your Gazi go dogged or did your Gazi die?
They're both dogs.
Oh, they're both dogged. So the Gazi is still on the table. He's just dogged.
For now, yes.
Yeah,
So at the end of this turn, the dogged models will be removed.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's such a good thing because it's just they're the longer they stay there, the more the more orders they can suck out of you.
Yeah,
'cause
more
they're like,
chance for doing AROs, more
Yeah.
chance for getting something off before
that-
they click.
that's kind of the Hack-a-Slam strategy sometimes. It's just give you enough speed bumps to prevent you from being able to get to the big stuff or like
Absolutely.
achieving the objectives. So like Gazi's, Daylami,
Draw them in their bumps.
yeah, exactly. Guys who lay mines, like
Yes.
mine layer Farzan is sometimes useful because start with a mine laid mid-board. All these things are
I
great
think
for...
mine laying is an effective one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, especially now with like season 9, there's not a ton of super specialist heavy missions. Whereas I would always take like an infiltrating camo specialist.
Right.
Now I'm thinking like, well, I'll take one of those, but then I'll also take like a mine layer.
Right, you can spread it out a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I forgot my mine layer ability. As I always do.
Oh,
And Rory forgot
right.
the crucial mine layer ability, of
the
course.
Fasid's mine. Yeah, he lays mines at the beginning of the game.
That's what you pay for mine layer.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
It's nice to be able to throw one down immediately.
It
You
is,
don't have
yeah.
to expend an order deploying.
It's just it's deployment zone defense to have
Oh.
that. Oh, so Yodam comes around the corner.
The big terror is moving.
You can just
Yeah.
hop over you guys because your silhouette is lower than his, right?
Yep.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
my ARO will be dodge.
You're gonna reveal and dodge.
If you dodge, you will reveal yourself.
Yep.
Right. You can also do ARO engage as well.
Oh, is that an option? Okay, so
You can
what's the
engage.
move?
It's just a physique
Dodging
roll.
into me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you get to move. You also have Kinematica level 1, so you can move 3 inches.
So I got a coin flip here.
Or you don't even have to reveal yourself.
He will, yeah. Any roll requires if he rolls
You don't have to
anything.
do any ARO.
No, but I want to.
Well, so your first skill is to move. He declares ARO engage. With your second skill now, I believe you can shoot at him because
shoot at
he's
him.
yeah.
Absolutely,
I got
because if
heavy
he's
flamer at you.
declaring engage,
Engage, yeah.
he's revealing
You don't
himself
get a
as
surprise
an
attack.
unfriendly model.
Why not?
Because it's an ARO.
It's yeah. You don't get
surprise attack
yeah.
in arrow?
You don't get surprise attack in arrow.
He's just gonna run away from me if I don't get at him now, though.
It's
Well,
well,
him
it's
to chase me down later.
yeah. It's also very hard for him to discover you because remember you have to go from M1 to
It's
M2.
impossible. I
Yeah.
have no biometric visor basically.
All right, screw it. I won't do any of this.
Okay,
Again.
this is a friendly game, so we're kind of cool with talking out order sequences and stuff.
Again, a lot of us are relatively new to
Yeah.
the game, so we're still at that point where vocalizing makes it a little easier.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a tournament setting, so you can kind
Absolutely
of talk with your opponent about some of the options.
Learning games.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, for our community especially, like lots of new people.
Absolutely,
get
we're really
games.
trying to grow it right now.
Yeah, here in Winnipeg,
I have to see-
Manitoba. Oh, we have some long-range shots here.
Looks like Jordan has line of sight.
What kind of ARO would you like to do?
It'd be good to get the camera down there, but it's a bit
Suppressive
involved.
fire?
But yeah, there's a nice little fire lane down by this truck here.
For next time, that's something we'll have to figure.
Yeah, for sure.
24 inches for suppressive fire.
No, I'm thinking my shot's probably higher because I'm at the yeah. I'll take a shot at you.
Taking a shot back. All right.
So it's
we're
a
at
shootout.
Can do a regular
35.
Yeah.
What's HMG band? 32 plus.
After 32, you go to -3.
I didn't measure that ahead of time.
shot. Or nothing for suppressive, because suppressive
yeah,
chops
so-
at 24.
For your ARO, you'd have to say either just suppression fire or
Shot because I thought I
Better
could
single shot.
yeah.
Yeah, well, my bad too. So
Is there cover for both of them, or is it
I don't have. You have cover. I don't.
right? So
So I'm going from BS 15 to 9.
so Sid's BS15 -3 for cover, -3 for range.
Okay,
Rory's at
4
Rory's
10,
at 10
just
for a
-3
shot.
for
I
range.
got a crit. I got my crit. He rolled a 9. No, it's a 6. Sorry.
So I beat your other ones.
Yeah, but you take an auto hit from the crit.
So the Sid took a crit, but his roll was able to cancel Sid's 2, so he only ends up taking 1 wound. Yeah. So now you have the option. You have a guts roll, or you can choose to voluntarily fail it.
Voluntarily fail it.
I don't believe the Sid is religious.
Can I just go prone?
He is not, so
You're free to.
free to just drop.
So you can drop prone, right?
So he voluntarily fails the guts roll and takes cover behind the wall there. Alright. Yeah, that's a tough situation for the Sid. Yeah. What kind of ammunition were you firing?
AP shock.
AP shock? Well, it's,
I rolled a crit.
yeah, I think it's AP/shock. So it's either you have to pick one or the other.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, if it's AP plus shock, you get the benefit of both. If it's slash, you got to pick one.
Well, AP.
AP would have been, yeah.
It doesn't get affected by shock.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely hitting the heavy infantry, the AP would be the smarter option.
Yeah.
When you've got that much armor you're dealing with, you want to drop it
Yeah.
any way you can.
He's armor 8 in cover, which is pretty good, even against a heavy machine gun.
Honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to using the K1 combis for
Combined army, yeah.
Spend about 10
Yeah,
hours.
I mean, they are a pretty hard counter to Yodam. I mean, take his armor 10 to armor 0.
I've noticed in the list I've been putting together for Onyx that it's very much
Instead of going down?
a lot of
No, I
shoots.
should
Yeah.
And, you know, I've got the engineers, I've got some hackers, but it's a lot of I'm just
A lot
shooting
of,
you out.
yeah.
He's doing
This
a
is
good
the
job.
Onyx contact force you were talking about?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do the straight box, but I'm going to do that sectoral for
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
so I'll
stepping
take a
in
wound.
mind.
and then I'll
Nice.
kill ya.
Yeah. You can do the fire team Harris with 2 light tags, like the
Two Xenodrons,
Xenodrons. Yeah. Oh man.
They're the next order
Yeah.
that I'm putting in.
That's scary, eh? Just like watching your opponent spend 1 order and move 2 tags and an Umbra Legate or whatever. Like, right?
It's the Samaritan with it.
Oh, Samaritan?
So he's
Okay.
got the
Having that guy go to the
vampire
ground.
martial arts.
Oh, the Protheon or whatever. Yeah.
So when I do a wound,
Yeah.
I add one to my profile up to 2
Oh, that's
more,
super
so
cool.
you can go up to 3 wounds.
That's really cool.
And he's got the Vorpal close combat weapon, so
That's
that's the monofilament you can throw.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super cool.
It's an 8-inch throwing weapon.
See, with all the new players in the community, all these factions that I was like never super knowledgeable on, I need to like like Toha is all of a sudden has like 2 or 3 players. Like okay,
Yeah,
I got to learn about all that. Yeah,
it's very
Yeah.
encouraging.
it's great. No, it's now we have full representation here in Winnipeg, so it's great.
Well, my intent right now is to focus on the Yuching and the combined army factions. I would
Yeah.
like to flesh out the sectorals on those. You know, get as much of the ranges as
Yeah.
I can, and you know, I've got fun combinations I can put together then.
That's the nice thing is you just start with a faction, and then before you know, you're playing all of the sectorials.
Yeah, like I picked JSA to start, and I had no intention of doing any of the other Yuching stuff just at
Yeah.
the very beginning. Now that I've been playing and I've been looking at those models, I've been looking at abilities.
Silhouettes.
You have to do a lean out action to look over the edge. So it's a full order, and you kind of like, so like, you wouldn't be able to like if you move there. He can't. I don't think he can move shoot. He needs to move idle, and then do a lean out to see around the corner. Yeah, not down. Usually it's there's a specific order called a lean out for guys who are like directly below you.
I know there's that rule existing, but if I can draw a line of sight, you really have to look like that.
I think you do, because that order is designed for that situation. Yeah.
Take a. It's okay. I'll let you just do your arrow.
All right, so since being
I mean,
gentlemen
I'll do a
later.
reset.
Yeah, I could be wrong on that if someone's watching and wants to comment, but yeah.
Failing. Reset. Passing.
Oh, so the Gazzy tried to jam ARO and did not succeed.
I'm putting another order on her to do the lean out.
So this is a full order lean out.
Yeah, I get to shoot as well.
Yes, yes.
Shoot.
It's almost like combining move and shoot, only you're just
Yeah,
doing
it's
a
it's
lean.
for these weird awkward situations like
So you
that.
automatically hit me. Yeah. Get 3 combi rifle shots. Plus 3 for the range band, I'm assuming. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
And there's-
between 0 and 16.
You're 15, so there's no cover. Yeah.
2 6s and a 1.
So that's 3 hits. So the Gazzy ARO'd with the chain rifle,
Yep.
and the doctor succeeded
No,
3
my arm
times.
save is fail.
Fails on the arm save.
Jams I failed.
He failed quite a lot of jams. Yeah.
75% chance of success.
All your sandwiches are just peanut butter.
I don't feel so bad because his first jam on Friday put Shinobu in isolation.
Yeah, it all comes
Oh,
around.
Great.
No, I kill you.
And I was spending the rest of the game mentally trying to go through anything I could to think
Yeah.
of to shifter, but I didn't have an engineer on the list.
To fix your isolation.
Yeah.
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 That's rough. So over here we had a bit of a point trade. So a Gazzy went lost 2 wounds, so he goes dogged and then dies.
Still traded my doctor for
And then
gas.
the doctor also failed the chain rifle armor save. So that's a fair trade. I mean, that's
It's not a bad trade.
5 points for I think a trauma doc's like 12 or something.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
that's one of the things you do have to look at is what have you taken out for your opponents?
yeah, just
What have you expended to take that out?
disproportionate point trading is a good thing for
I'm gonna
hack.
do a hacking program.
Yeah. So I love the Delamis because he's an 8-point guy with a Panzerfaust, and like he makes somebody think like, I know like I'll probably win that face to face, but on the off chance that I lose it and I take a Panzerfaust, like I might lose my heavy infantry. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
Yeah, so like, are you saying to you can spend the order to improve to give the controlled jump?
Yes.
So there's no ARO to that.
No.
But when you bring the guy in,
He
yeah,
can ARO though because he's within 8 of me.
yeah, he can.
I thought I got to do something to that drop if I had to.
You do, yeah. You can do
it's
hack
not-
transport.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we'll do a face to face when I drop down.
Yeah, are you dropping right now?
No, I'm putting the order to make the better physique roll.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
So
yeah,
only
so
he can-
yeah,
can do,
so this you can ARO because he's doing the improve. It's called the controlled jump program. So your Fide there in impersonation. You don't. Yeah, because you.
Yeah, it's not worth flopping
when he actually
impersonation stage.
drops, I get to do something.
Correct.
That's when you
the
get the attempt,
when the
yes.
guy comes off the plane. Yeah.
It's okay to learn. It's okay to
Nope,
keep learning.
it's all
You know,
learning.
that's what this system's about, isn't it?
Of course.
Nice sweet drop zone here. I have to take it. So like I can just shoot everything in the back.
You just have to fit the template down. The template has to fit.
You have to. Oh, they have 360 visors. All right, forget about that. They both have it, or just the HMG one?
Just the HMG has the 360 visor.
This is the missile one. Your arrows will be change facing. I didn't mean you could shoot.
This was a big decision on where to airdrop here.
This is an important one as well.
Yeah.
What's this?
So for the drop, you have to have an area the size of the template clear.
Yeah, you got to be able
circular?
to fit the template. Yeah. It makes it pretty risky, and sometimes it's hard with all the air conditioning units on top of buildings and stuff.
Oh, certainly,
It's-
certainly.
Yeah, you can't
It
really
can
fit. Yeah.
Neutralize that big flat space.
Yeah.
Now, you can land on top of a building if it can fit it, correct?
I believe so. For some reason, I'm suddenly blanking on this.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
I know it has to be able to fit the template. I'm not
Yes.
sure if it also has to be game table. To be honest, when I use my AD troops that have AD combat jump, most of the time I'm bringing them on from the side of the board because it's just so much safer. Yeah. So did we
think
do we
we're
pick a
attempting.
spot or
No, not quite.
not yet? I've been toying around with like doing things like bringing an EVO hacker. Yeah, that has to fit the template. Yeah.
So if you could do it like, that's air conditioning. If you could do it like on the yellow building, it would fit. Maybe.
We can just play with you can land on top of buildings. I'll look into it again. Like I said, I should know it. I just never use AD3
Of course.
very often. Well, like I was going to say though, I'm toying with the idea of using things like an EVO hacker so that I can give like my Rajiks +3 just because the hacker's on the board. So he'll drop in on 15s, which is more
That's a little more reliable.
tolerable than
You have a 75% chance of success.
Yeah, without it, it's tough because like usually these like an Akal I think is physique 13, so you're dropping in on a 55% chance. So it's really risky, and most of the time, if you scatter, it's not going to be good. It's going to be in front of somebody, and you're going to get shot, or you're going to end up off the table, and you're
going to have a bad time.
Bad time.
Yeah.
So like yeah. Oh no, remotes can't climb buildings. Good. Doing well.
Mind if I change my mind on that order? Since it's a friendly game?
Or is it remotes can't use ladders? Ah, fuck, I can't remember. Sorry, anyway, go ahead. Thinking about can remotes climb? I know they can't use
Climb ladders.
They can climb ladders.
If they can fit on the size
Yeah.
of the ladder.
I think they can.
The
Yeah.
big fat ones can't.
Okay.
But if they're, like the S3s, I think, are the right size for those
Yeah.
ladders.
I think they can go up. Yeah.
Yeah. That was what we concluded the other day, because they don't have climbing, so they can't climb the wall.
It's 300 points. Yeah. He is very alive. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to order this way as possible without being
Yeah.
So you could actually like, no, he's not here.
Yeah.
This is what's going to happen.
We're working on the
Telecast.
what do you call it? Is it telecast or what's
Yeah,
it?
no, that's the NFL's name for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have that eventually, so you can just like circle and do play-by-play.
So check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because no one live streams.
All we need is microphones.
Yeah.
So then we can hear it there, and then we can come.
So we can hear what they're doing, because like right now we're just saying like, oh, the Ghazi's going here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have. Yeah, we have an Akal that I think used 82 to come on the side of the board.
Yep. He's slipping on the side instead of doing the draw.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the smarter maneuver in that situation. There weren't a lot of good drop zones available.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Although, was the order spent to buff the hacking or buff the drop?
I don't believe he did.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure.
He was trying to decide on it, and then I believe backed off from that.
Backed off. Okay. Yeah, I would almost. I mean, if you're rolling an 11, it's really a 50-50 whether your guy lives or probably dies.
Yeah,
So it's tough.
exactly.
So I'm
Well,
11 plus 6.
if you fire, shotguns will ignore the armor bonus to cover because it's a template weapon.
Even a light shotgun?
Oh yeah, because it's a you'll still get the -3 to hit, but it won't give him the +3 to his armor because it's a template weapon.
Okay, so I'm at 17 minus 3, so I need 14.
Yeah.
Go from 11 to 17 to 14s. And I need 16s. 14 will beat you.
So one hit goes through.
Armor save failed?
Armor save failed. Yeah. So the Ghulam hacker goes unconscious. Looking for an unconscious token.
This guy mess up some stuff. Next order.
Who he hasn't really. He's still waiting in place. He's still smiling. Yeah. Still smiling. It's Fide we're talking about.
Yeah. One of the things I like most about the Fide is when you put the marker down, the impersonation, you've got that smiley face marker. Yeah.
You're just ruining someone's day with that
Look,
smiley
I'm
face.
so friendly.
Yeah.
Really, it's like a marker you'd never want to see.
Yeah, essentially. You can't intuitive attack an impersonation marker, and I love that they did that in the rules because it makes sense.
It's like, hey Bob,
Yeah.
I think you're not there.
Who's this new guy? Should I? Yeah. I don't know. Should I shoot him with a flamethrower? Maybe. Like that doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah. It's cool for like camo tokens because you hear a rustling and you're like, I'll just be safe. I'll burn that
makes
area.
sense, but
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah.
the impersonation, the direct impersonation, it doesn't make sense to be like, nope.
Well, 1 and 2. Like 1 is just a.
The one that just straight up put a model that's not. It's like a different.
Oh, that's Hollow Projector level 1. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's just like going like.
From the last order, will be a coordinated order.
Oh, I think we're doing a combined for the last order.
Oh, so,
yourself as like a male.
yeah.
Say suppressive.
Exactly.
So Sid is using a combined order at this point to put multiple units on suppressive fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like his Akal came in on the my left side of the board here with this yellow building and took out a Gulam hacker and a Gulam forward observer.
He did a little bit of work.
Took out 2, did some work. It's called Acquisition. So there's 2 antennas
All right, Rory, it's all you.
on each side there. There's a green one and an orange one. And then there's a tech coffin in the middle. You can get if you can get a specialist to one of the antennas and pass a whip check, then you get 1 objective point per antenna. Maximum 2. And then controlling the antenna at the end of the game, I believe, is another objective point. So if you have controlling, just means having a guy in base to base with it at the end of the game. And then the tech coffin is if you can control it at the end of the game, you get 3 objective points. And if it's your data tracker that's controlling it, you get a bonus, I think 1 or 2. So in Season 9, you can pick one of your non-marker models and non-irregular models to be a data tracker, and there are certain missions that, like, you get bonuses if that particular guy does something. Like, so if he... Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, like, if he's the guy... Now, in this season, you can also kill HVTs in some missions. So, like, if he's the guy that assassinates the HVT, you get some bonus points.
So when you mean non-marker, like it can't be a token.
It can't be a camo token or an impersonator token. On the game table. It also can't be an aerial. Yeah, and he can't be somebody who comes in. Yeah, on the table. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a new little thing they've added. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, these were 2 regular orders there. Cool. Yeah. So one's completely removed. It's not gone. It's just okay. So
Yeah. So it's 4 points. I think there's also 1 classified objective for 1 point. So you can get 4 from antennas, 1 from the classified, 3 from the tech console, and then 2 if it's your data plus 2. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's it.
I'm still here. I still wanted to play. I just like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
retribution, Sid.
Yeah. No worries. We're
Getting myself back in the
I mean, smiley face. How close does it get? Okay, well, the next discover you anywhere.
Oh yeah, you can't attempt for the rest of the turn. Oh shit! I thought it was just like in that order. Oh, okay, well,
yeah.
4 will get me to there.
Yeah.
It's still not around.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Kyle took a picture for me.
So if I get into base contact with the second half of my order,
Yeah.
what does that do? That's bad for me, right?
I think you reveal yourself as soon as you touch bases with
Okay,
him. So
so
you're better
this-
to just idle.
I'll just move not into base contact with you with the second half of the order.
That's been another order now.
I know. Hopefully it's worth it. Okay.
See, this is unavoidable. I knew this was going to happen.
I guess I can't
It's
really
like
get
Fide
around
is
behind
trying
you.
to enter close combat with Yodam.
So with the first half, I'll engage.
I declare shoot with my heavy flamethrower.
Well, we're in close combat now.
Well, you're considered revealed all along. So if you start out of line of sight, what you should do is use that second half of your last movement to get behind him.
I can't because he blocked himself.
Okay. Because if he has line of sight to you when you're in a marker state and you go into close combat and attack with your second skill,
Just popped out and hit him when he walked past me.
I don't know. That would have been the same effect.
I said a surprise attack, right?
yeah,
This gets
it's
you
not
surprise
going to be.
attack, but
yeah,
I'm not doing any rolls.
he's using a template weapon, so it's not going to do anything.
Second half of the attack will be. So martial arts level 3, he's 20.
He's 21. CC 21 on Fide.
Get them up to plus 3.
You can use martial arts level 24, yeah.
Now he's 24.
Then your crit number, yeah, so like 16, 17,
16,
or is it 17, 18, 19, 20? Yeah, so,
Anything higher than 16. Thank you.
okay, so Rory crit takes a wound on Yodam. Now, is that
18
a,
again.
He's on fire. Now you keep rolling the save.
Fuck me.
so Fide critted Yodam there, took a wound off, but unfortunately, on the way into close combat, was burnt to a crisp. Yeah.
What's the save against the heavy flammer?
Their damage 14, I believe. I think he's got a 1.
Really?
This is the light infantry guy.
Arm 1.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I forgot my. What's that? My impetuous.
In close combat? He's got AP close combat weapon. You can. There's also a double action variant, but the prof. Yeah, that's.
He's just gonna come through the building and just.
Yeah, he's not like he's good in close combat, but he's not by far the best or anything like that. I use him more on Iwaban. Yeah.
I think if you do move, you have to make your maximum move.
Yeah.
What's it called again? Does that be my maximum movement?
No, you can move and then throw a smoke grenade with the second half.
But if I don't move, he doesn't move. They both have to be my movement.
No, the first one has to be. So you're.
Sure, I think I just read that it has to be. They both have to be as far as possible.
Uh,
Yeah, but you can't see me. Okay.
yeah, I'm pretty sure with the Impetuous, it's just the first half that has to go move, and then you can choose to throw a smoke grenade, or I could be wrong.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, I think you're right, but anyway, that is my full move.
Because I just started playing with Magister Knights, I looked up the rule.
Yeah.
Okay, and then with his impetuous, they have a special, or his regular, it's like a face.
Oh, the monofilament close combat weapon. Yeah.
Stupid Gazes.
Derek, refresh my memory. I'm pretty sure with Impetuous orders, it's just the first half of that order that has to take you towards the enemy. The second half can be like throw a smoke grenade. Yeah, that's a.
Rory's got no luck today.
Typical one is dodge smoke.
Yeah, move, throw, smoke. Yeah, that's what I usually do all the time. So.
Normal.
Yeah. Fortunately, that what happened there. So Rory moved with his Impetuous order, and did the sniper get you, or?
He just fucking failed the goddamn jam again.
Ah. So many jams. So many failed jams.
So fucking many.
No, I didn't even fail. I beat you on that roll.
Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing. I failed.
Yeah. Yeah. So no luck with the jams this
here
game.
It is, Scott. And it says you, second time during the Impetuous order, he moves the full number of inches indicated by the value of his move.
So if you go move, but you don't have to go move.
You don't have to go move.
No, but
Yeah.
I did. But I did go.
Could you do a move idle?
Yeah, you can do move idle. It's just the
You just can't go 6 inches. You're either going 4 or 8.
yeah.
Is that guy still prone? The
Yep.
orc? Yeah.
The only way you can move less is if you get into base-to-base contact instead. Do you regenerate on him or anything?
No, I got a doctor down there though.
Run into the doctor's office.
Where's the doctor? He's down by the crate there.
Second half of his order will be to shoot at this guy.
Oh, we got a Facid shooting at a Nakal. Kali. So Rory's shooting with his heavy machine gun, and Sid's Akal commando is dodging.
1.
So that's 4.
Ooh, 4 hits. Nope,
Nope,
3 hits. 3 hits on the Akal. A heavy machine gun from an Alpha Sid. Up on the bridge here.
Plus 3 for coverage, 5, so I need 11s.
He's looking for 11s,
He's unconscious.
so he goes unconscious.
I
The,
know doctors anyway, so that's all I needed. That's all you need.
the Akal is down. Is it an Akal or a Kali?
That was a
I think it's Kali, but I've never been through it.
Yeah, okay. Close enough. We know who we're talking about. Yeah. All right.
You losing 2 orders is okay. Me losing 1 order is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's Sid makes a good point. With Pano losing 1 guy is equivalent to like Hakislam losing 2 or something. Or like, I mean, the nice thing about irregular orders too is if you lose 1, it doesn't affect your order pool. It's just like it's just 1 less guy on the board, but my order pool is still intact, right? Yeah. Right. So you got 4 in one group, 4 orders in one group, Rory, and 2 in another.
He's been hurt that bad.
Well, here's the courtesy list if you want to take a look.
No, that's left unspent.
Left unspent. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's still a pretty even game, I'd say. It's just Jodam is a bit of a tough unit to deal with. Yodam tag.
See what you can do now.
Very.
Yeah. You need like a effective hacker, or I mean, Gazis actually have a good weapon for dealing with it. They have Emirats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hackerstorm's got a bunch of good stuff to do with tags.
Yeah.
Hackers, the least of them.
Yep. Smart missile bots. Good. Like Whip 14 forward observers are great for trying to target things. So
What's the guys who jam them, isolate them?
those are Gazis. Gazi Mutulia or something. People call them Mutts. People call them Gazi. They've been a hot topic of conversation for this game because they're in every single hack list.
Almost everyone that has to.
Yeah. Oh, so we have a sniper who is the Jambazan sniper stood up and is targeting the Peacemaker armbot.
26,
Oh,
27.
that might not work.
I think I'm out of range. Oh no, I got range. I got -3 though.
Yeah.
-6.
So the armbot's at -6. Rory's at +3, -3 for cover.
Shotgun 1. So,
Shock might not have an effect against
It doesn't work against remotes.
so
Yeah.
I need 50.
Did you get is there any cover involved or
Oh yeah, so -3 for cover.
should?
So I need 12.
So
Crit and a red.
so Rory has crit the armbot and does an additional hit as well.
He's been spanking the shit out of him.
So the armbot is unconscious.
Well, you did 2, right? You did crit and a hit.
So he's unconscious level 2.
Oh yeah.
Might be irrelevant. Does he have an engineer on the table?
He does have an engineer on the table. Yep. Sid does as well. He's the machinist is in that blue building with the air conditioning unit at the top there. Yeah. Hey Sid, is there a PALBot linked to the machinist? There is. Yeah. So yeah, the doctor is over there. He's unconscious though. So yeah. So
Wish I had a tech.
Peacemaker is down but not out.
He's jump a full order.
Jump is a full order.
Where's this? Jump. It is his movement. First movement value doesn't need to roll, right?
If you go over your first movement value, then it's a damage 10 hit for every like section you're over, I think.
Down a level? Yeah.
So the Fizzid has jumped off the bridge and is now on the game table.
I haven't seen anybody use these against me, so I'm kind of curious on how it works.
The Fizzid? Yeah. They're basically just like a
Heavy infantry,
yeah, like you put them in cover and they just sit there with a heavy machine gun. Like they also have some cool stuff like smoke grenades, smoke grenade launcher. They have mines.
In order.
They have Sixth Sense. Level 1, not as great as level 2, but still useful. I mean, they're a good unit. I am someone who personally likes cheap point guys, and like 50 points is like that's a lot. You know, I play like in my Hack-a-Slam army. I have like the healing thing, like the doctor. Yeah, to heal is a short skill. Yeah.
Start base to base. Yeah, so she moved into base, and now she'll try to heal him.
I think you have to be unconscious to do the heal, though. Yeah, I think one of the requirements is they have to be unconscious. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The only exception is if someone's in no wound state, then
Yeah.
you can bring them back up to.
I'm pretty sure.
You want to look it up first?
I'll look it up. So we're doing it's a friendly casual game here, so we're rewinding a few orders.
Is it called the engineer roll?
It's the doctor roll.
Oh, he's a doctor. I'll just leave him there.
Yeah, it says.
Engineers you can repair at 1 point though.
Yeah, it says one of the requirements of the doctor skill is the target must be in an unconscious state.
But structural points can be repaired.
I'll look that one up as well. Yeah, the Pacid's a good just like tank unit. I mean, it's nice to have the 2 wounds because it is really unfortunate when you do all the planning and like stack the mods, but your opponent just crits you and your guy only has 1 wound, so he's like, yeah, that's it. But with the Pacid, it gives you a bit more leeway.
So he's a big light infantry?
He's a big heavy infantry. He's 2 wounds.
But he does have 2 wounds.
Yeah. Sid, yeah, you can repair structure points on remotes that are still active. So like Yodam, you could walk up and try and repair, even if he's not unconscious. The user may declare use of this special skill until the target has recovered its full structure, yeah. Although if you fail, you lose one, so that's pretty risky.
Yeah, but you're allowed to use command counters to pick it up.
And the second half of that roll, we just shoot it in the spot that he's dead.
Oh, this thing?
All right. Zaka.
Awesome.
So he's at 14.
So what's going on here? So the Sid is shooting at... Who was shooting here? Oh, Total Reaction Bot just iced completely the Peacemaker.
I don't think it was a crit because it was in cover though, but whatever.
You would have still done it.
So we might have had a couple misses.
You would have had cover, yeah, because it's still, even if you're on...
I don't know again. Because yeah, it would have been minus 2.
So we're just going to do a bit of a reboot here, because we didn't apply the cover mod.
Check the tape.
So I got 2 hits.
2 hits.
That'll kill it.
So
Sorry,
the...
dude. No,
yeah.
that's my fault. I just didn't.
No worries. The outcome was the same. The Peacemaker is dead.
I always think that when they're in no, they don't get covered. But they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of their war gear still works too, like their mimetism and all that stuff.
Unless they got fried.
Yeah. Alright, so we can just take a minute to mention some of our sponsors here, some of the 4DBG sponsors. We have AYB Online, PvP Ultra Lounge, the location of this bat rep here, On Call Solutions, Hidden City Comics here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. A lot of the mats we use are also from Frontline Gaming, and the foam we use to carry our miniatures, Battle Foam. Secret Weapon miniatures as well, providing bases. Cromlech for some conversion bits, and War Games exclusive. More jamming failures, eh? Oh, jeez.
Okay, and I got one more in Speed 2.
It's the last order in Rory's second group. Looking around the table.
Shoot the guided missile blast template on like just anything.
Yeah, it's you can shoot it like a. I think there's
Speculative fire, yeah, right? So it's a full order.
Well, it has it doesn't have speculative fire, but it has a profile that you can just shoot if you want it. I think it's on like auto aim mode or something.
So smart auto aim mode, 24 to 40 plus 3, 14 AP plus D8.
Yeah, it has a template.
Yeah.
It's only burst 1 though.
Is it a full order to shoot that at just nothing though?
No, you can. What do you mean shoot it at nothing?
Like if I know he's got a guy prone over there, can I just pop the template?
Oh no, you need the speculative shot to do that. You'd still need line of sight as per normal.
Well, then I'm going to. Okay, this is sneaky Pete. I'm going to do my movement on this guy.
Spending an order on the
2 back.
Total Reaction Bot to peek out 2 inches around the corner.
2 inches. Sees the Yodam.
See Yodam.
And then goes back.
And to peek back in.
Maybe a little bit further. Line of fire is right there.
Alright, sure, whatever. Okay.
He pops back.
Now check the range band.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, my arrow will be. I'll shoot you with one explosive shot, I guess.
So, ooh, this is high stakes ARO here.
Way over.
There's a heavy machine gun from the TR bot, the Shihab, firing at Yodam, but Yodam's firing back with an explosive round.
Both -3.
Some high stakes for the Total Reaction Bot here.
You're doing -3 for cover as well, right? You're at -6.
So I need 5s.
You need 5s.
What are you shooting on, Sid?
-3, so 12s. One shot at your 12. Got a 4.
I also got a 4. So nothing happens.
Oh, so they both rolled 4s, canceling each other out.
It's my turn.
That's the end of Rory's second turn.
I've lost 2 of my orders.
Bottom of turn 2, yeah.
This show has been brought to you by Wayland Utani.
Yeah. Wayland Yutani, that is right. I wonder if we had any shots of that. We should get some. It's too bad Wayland Yutani isn't a real company. We could be like, hey, we're repping for you. Yeah. I don't like their Xenomorph products. Yeah. So Sid, how many orders do you have in your?
I went from 10. I think I'm down to 8 now.
Down to 8.
Yeah, really like Gazzy didn't jam me.
Well, you've lost the you lost your Doctor, your Cal, and your Peacemaker.
Oh, my doctor too.
How about
Forgot about her.
Yeah. So Sid's at 7 orders.
Yeah, that's it.
This guy's
Yeah. Yeah, shit, I gotta be a bit more cautious.
I don't even know who's winning or losing. I feel like I'm losing though.
Well, nobody has scored any objective points at this point, so I haven't heard of anyone achieving a classified objective. No one's hacked any antennas. You guys,
What is the mission?
the mission is acquisition, so there's 2 antennas, and in the middle there's a tech coffin. You get 1 point for hacking the antennas with a specialist. You get 1 point for each antenna you control at the end of the game, so base-to-base contact. And you get 3 points for controlling the tech coffin in the middle at the end of the game. An additional 2 points if the model controlling the tech coffin is your data tracker. And then there's 1 classified objective for 1 point. But it is currently a 0-0 game. Very focused on bludgeoning each other.
I noticed that.
Or isolating, in Rory's case. Just the jamming hasn't been too successful.
Well, those things are hit and miss. Sometimes they can work great. Other times they can go boldly right into a kill zone.
Yeah, no. Great unit. I feel like we spent a significant portion of this discussing the pros and cons of Gazzy's. Gazzy Matuia, yeah.
Hack-to-Slam monks are the same way.
Oh yeah, they're the standard, like a lot of factions have that profile. It's like an extremely impetuous guy with a chain rifle and smoke grenades. And he's like 5 points, 6 points. It's just the Hack-to-Slam version is, I think, a lot better because of that. Well, I mean, they have the jam, and they also have the Emirats, which make them extremely effective against heavy infantry and tags and all that.
Oh, you got
So-
me once from my father night with turn 1, so it worked quite well for you.
Yeah, no, they're really good.
Can you cast it's like Spotlight on a camera marker? Like, is there a Discover hacking program?
There is not a Discover hacking program, and I don't think you can use Spotlight on a camo token. Yeah.
If you have a satellite connection, you can
If
spot
you have
from outside.
Satlock, I believe, you can do the, yeah. There's another thing one of the things I've been kind of musing about is using EVO hackers, in combination with like, I think it's called the Guardian class
This guy's
remote,
so
but a lot of
small,
factions
I don't
have them.
think
It's
I
like a
should
forward observer with Satlock and all that stuff.
Wait,
Because if the EVO remote's on the table,
actually on the-
you don't get the -6 to your whip roll for Satlock. And you can immediately, and if you also have like a smart missile bot, you can go walk up to a camo token, out of line of sight, do the Satlock, pretty easily reveal it, and also target it, and then start firing missiles at it. So,
Pano with the Pathfinder.
yeah, they're a really good bot. They're like 16 points.
Yeah, I use them all the time.
So it looks like Yodam, an order is being spent on Yodam.
Covered, so I'm looking for 8s this time.
Yodam and the TR bot are going at it again.
I'm looking for 9.
So 4 dice on 4 dice. So 8s for Rory and 9s for Sid.
AP or shock doesn't matter. AP, I guess. I'm looking for 9s. 5.
5 and a
Sid has,
5 and a 4.
So everything's
so
canceled.
everything's canceled out.
God damn
They
it.
both rolled 5s. The bullets collide in midair.
It looks spectacular.
Yeah, I could just a wall of lead just like across that corridor and the yeah.
I wonder how many craters are in that second board now.
Quite a lot of craters on the side of that wall, yeah. Sid's, I think, considering doing it again.
Well,
It's a bit of a tough fight because I think they're about even. Like Rory was looking for 9s, Sid was looking for 8s, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, so that's a pretty even.
It's a tough firefight. But
Yeah,
the tag's got the edge. In case it gets hit, you can shrug it off.
true. Yeah, it's a question of whether Sid, as the
So he's
active
gonna
player,
merge
wants to
out cover
keep
this
dumping
time?
orders
Does he
into
do
that
close
because
that
it's
gap
not a
from the last
super
time?
probable
That little
chance
gap
of
that's
winning.
between this box
Granted,
and
each
this
of them
box,
each has a
he moved
20%
through
chance
that.
of
He
crit.
shot
So I think
through that.
with
He's
probabilities,
behind here
it's if there's
So he's gonna move up behind.
if you have
this
4
box
shots to
and then
roll,
poke out like this.
one number.
So he has
It's
cover
5
at
plus
the-
5 plus 5 plus 5. So each round of firing is like a 20% chance to crit. Yeah.
Well, I remember I went down. I said I don't even think we have line of sight. But it's
I
pointed out that little gap.
Laser
that I
pointers are very useful for this line of sight stuff. Yeah. So they're
little gap with
checking
that
line of
gray-
fire.
between this gray box and this brown box.
The one with boxes, but I haven't opened my terrain boxes.
Yeah.
Tournament.
Oh. I got to. I have your blast template. It's in one of my pouches. Yeah. So you guys are checking line of sight here. Just the white. You only need to see the white part of the silhouette.
You keep that from
You can see.
Yeah, look to where. From the corner of that, right?
At this point, I mean,
Look
it's a little
at,
bit past the edge of his base.
We could maybe let's get a third party in here, Derek, if you want to take a look.
Well, no, you're the judge. You make the call.
Yeah. I thought so. We'll get another second opinion, a second judge here.
This is the edge of it.
This is a big call here. No line of sight.
Not where he is now. If he slid to it, then yeah, but not now.
Well, that's fine. So you
Yep.
get cover.
Take off.
I'm looking for
All right, Kyle. Thanks for helping out.
Base 11.
Yep.
Okay, let's check the range.
And I think like Thursday or Friday, I might do like gaming at my place on Thursday night, and then Friday Hidden City.
Yeah, I'll find out my schedule.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. So we're doing gaming again Friday at Hidden City, and then I might on Thursday have people over to my place to do some gaming. Yeah.
Spend lieutenant orders.
Every time I try to get around to Hidden City, I get jammed up.
There was 4 games going on and like 10 people at last Friday.
Oh wait, is this the sniper
Yeah.
now?
And we got like I bring my train usually. Rory brings his table, and the nice thing is it's open like stay there till midnight or whenever. So and we usually I was there during the afternoon, so me and other Scott played a game at like 1 o'clock.
Like this.
I had to leave at 5, but then everyone else just showed up and played till like midnight or whatever. So yeah, it's great.
5.
So what happened here, guys?
Is that a crit?
Yeah, looking for 5.
So it looks like we have the TR bot again firing at Yodam, and it looks like the TR bot got a crit. Yeah. See you, Yuri.
Five's all good. See you later, buddy.
Not so
One
good.
of his many wounds.
Yeah, he's down to 1 now. Yodam's down to 1 wound
Move again.
Oh, wait.
because Fide did a crit to him in close combat.
I think he might be okay there. He's a little tiny guy, right?
It's up to you.
I gotta see the silhouette at the corner of the
You know what? I'm not even gonna say. I'm just gonna keep doing this. I don't care if I lose my lieutenant right now. It's good stuff.
Oh, so another round of shooting.
Fives
Machine guns versus machine guns.
and a 3 and another 8. 4 hits. Oh wait, you got 6?
6.
That's failed.
All right. So
Yeah, Rory was looking for 5s. Ouch. 4 hits against the total reaction bot.
you get covered.
He got
16 looking for 13s.
needs 13s.
Failed 2.
Unconscious level 2.
So yeah, you go into unconscious level 2. So you're still on the board. Yeah.
That guy's standing right there.
Yeah.
Spend another order on the Jodam.
Yodam's moving again.
Move into line of sight of the sniper now.
Okay.
Better be in good range band, man. Oh yeah, easy.
Okay, so I'm at 15.
You're -3 for cover.
I'm looking for 12.
So we have a sniper, a Jampazan sniper shooting at Yodam.
I'm gonna be at +3, -3 as well. So I need 15s.
Yodam looking for 15s.
Oh yeah, beat you 4 times.
Oh. 4 hits on the Jampazan.
+3, so I'm at 6. Damage 15, so I need
10s. Looking for 10s.
one goes through.
Only one goes through. He's got regeneration though.
And it fucks my order pool up.
Yep. So the sniper went down to Yodam. He does have regeneration, so he's not completely out of the game.
Power that up and repair it though. Or no, wait, can you do that? 'Cause he's not.
So with remotes, engineers can try to heal structure points while he's alive.
Yeah.
Or sorry, with engineering. That's so. But here's the thing though: if he fails it, then he does a wound.
So my engineer can't fix a wound off of him though.
No, because he's a human. He's got a wounds profile. It's risky though for the tag though. If you fail it, he's like whip 12 or something for his machinist. So there's like a 40% chance.
Points 3 roll it though, right?
Yeah, that's right. Command points to reroll. Although I did watch Scott C, I think, fail that twice with command tokens.
I've done it.
Yeah. It's brutal when you're Hack Islam too, because you should be revealing or sorry, healing on 17s, and then you fail, and you're like, ah, command token. You fail that, and you're like, ah, good game. It's been fun. All right.
Well, that's why you shouldn't be too worried about the sniper. He's got good healthcare, right?
Yeah, Hack Islam healthcare is the best in the human sphere, man. Best
Silk.
doctors. Yeah, all the silk.
Even if they can't save you, they just dump you into a new body.
Yeah, yeah.
Rotating penis.
Well, that's Aleph. Sorry.
That's robot bodies are Aleph.
Sure you find something.
Looks like Yodam's moving back a bit.
6. Man, I should just I should just try to hope for the best with that flamer. Pop the Fide out and just pop the kit. Hope that made the armor save and just take him over when I had a chance.
When you charged in with Fide?
When he ran right past me.
Yeah. It's tough because
Essentially what I did, like, now it just cost me
engaging
4.
him though, like so if you would have ARO'd engaged with Fide to try and attack Yodam, he could have shot you with 4 dice, and then it would be a face-to-face roll. Your physique of like 12 or 11,
HMG within 8 is -6, isn't it?
-3. So he'd be hitting you on 12s, and you'd be engaging on 111. It's not a super situation.
Math is not good.
Yeah. No, with Fide, I usually like.
Spend the order on the
I just
engineer.
leave him in impersonation for a while and like watch my opponent spend orders trying to discover him. And like, if he doesn't have an immediate amazing target or something, then I'll just let them be like a, people get hung up on. Yeah, people trying to get hung up trying to figure out. Oh, I gotta like get him out of impersonation, but spend 4 orders maybe. Sure, I'll take that. Yeah.
You got an area effect that can do it too.
I don't know where to put
You can't do the intuitive attacks against him.
attempt to heal the robots.
Please fail it.
Even with a flimmer?
You can't. It's a really cool. We talked about it already, but it's a really cool thing. You can't do intuitive attacks against impersonation because they're your buddy. Like they look like. So it'd be weird to be like, hey, Jim looks strange. I'm gonna roast him.
Yeah.
Just regain
So-
1, not 2, right?
Yeah. It's 1 per roll. So it looks like Sid repaired 1 wound on Yodam.
I'm done already. Turn 3. Last turn.
So Yodam's up to 2 wounds now.
It's all about the eagles. Holy moly.
So is it Rory? Is your turn now? So Rory's turn 3.
1, 2. I'm gonna let the table flip. Don't push me.
Possible table flip occurring. All right. Let's just mention a few other gaming events. So we have Open Gaming again at PvP on October 3rd. And the next major event is the Twin Eagles tournament, Saturday, October 28th at the C4, which is the Central Canada Comic-Con. So it looks like Rory suffered a few casualties here. So you got 1 order pool of 4 and 1 order pool of 3. You can also spend command tokens to move guys around, in your pools.
Yeah.
You can like spend one command token to move 1 guy out of a pool into another pool.
That's your order pool right now? Ooh, small.
You still have the 4, yeah.
Not this, right?
So he's spending. Yeah, you can spend if you got 3 command tokens, you can spend 3 and move 3 guys over.
They're all in 1 pool now.
Or you spent all your command tokens?
So we spent 3 command tokens to make one big army or 1 big order pool.
If he's close enough, he has to go spend the whole order to climb, doesn't he?
If possible.
Yep.
fuck's sake.
Is that really what's gonna happen?
Yep. You're gonna
Is
get
it
a
come scaling up the building at me?
Oh wait. I can do the first half of my orders whatever I want. I can do jam move.
Well, climb is a full order though.
No, but if I do, I can do it in any combination. I read it up on it, so I can go jam move and then just do it down.
Yeah, but it's not a move. It's like a move, becoming a climb.
Jam move is an option for me though. I don't have to go move whatever.
I think he's right.
Well, I think you have to do the climb, but we'll look into this because it's interesting situation. So the question is, impetuous order right beside a building. Do you have to climb if the closest model is up the floor?
Spend my last command token, change it to a regular order.
You can
You spend an order to cancel his impetuous order.
you'd have to spend an order to cancel the extremely impetuous. Yeah.
Or unless he's extremely impetuous.
If it's extremely impetuous, you have to spend in order to cancel it. If you're just regularly impetuous, you just can say I'm not going to use it. Yeah.
I know that.
Well, whatever. He spends an order, take a shot.
So the Gazi is climbing up the building.
Pistol. Pistol is gonna be +3 range band. And these 13s and 16s. I'll hit him. Damage is like 13 probably. 13. No, damage 11.
Okay, I pass.
So the Gazi climbs the building, takes a pistol hit, and survives.
Yeah, as you like in close armor. Okay,
So now the Gazi is right beside the Nisei sniper.
I can't do jam shoot.
You cannot. Yeah.
Auto hit versus face to face. Forces his arrow to be face. Screw it.
Contemplating.
I'm gonna try to jam you.
So what's your first skill though?
Idle.
Idle. So then let Sid declare his aerobe. And maybe that'll change what you do, right?
Right. Okay, sorry. First skill idle.
Shoot with the pistol.
Arrow. Jam.
Jamming. Okay. So it's a pistol.
16s. 12.
So the Rory has not landed one jam all game. He needed a 15 and rolled a 16. So the Gazi goes dogged.
But when you're doing a face-to-face, I need 16.
It wasn't face to face.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. I was jamming you. You were shooting.
I think jamming and shooting is still face to face. Yeah. He's still alive though, so you can still. That's your. You can use your regular order on him. It has to be used on him, so you might as well do it again. That was your impetuous. Oh right, yeah.
That was just a regular.
That's right, yeah.
And impetuous.
Hey RJ.
I'm so mad at them.
It's crazy. Well, we can review the tape and calculate the odds.
Yeah.
Failing that many rolls.
You'll be able to see exactly how many jams you failed.
Failed like 10 jams.
It's a lot of jams.
I haven't had a successful jam this entire fucking game. Poor Gazi. At least 2 of fucking turns.
Yeah. You've had tons of opportunities. Yeah. Roy's getting diced on the jams a bit. No, the objective is just having control of it at the end of the game. So having somebody in base to base with it. So that's 3 objective points if you hold that at the end of the game.
+1 if you're the data scanner.
I think it's +2 if you're the data scanner or the data tracker. Another thing to mention, we'll be looking at doing an Infinity League in the next
Spending the
little
first
while.
one?
So in the next couple months, just keep an eye out for that for
Don't think
Winnipeg
so.
Infinity League coming up.
I can't stand up, can I?
As an ARO?
When I was getting shot at. Was it-
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Sorry, Roy, go ahead. Six left.
All right.
Out of this window down and be in front of it.
Is there something in there? What's? Yeah, it'd be a jump down, and if it's your, you'd have to move to the edge of the. Okay, if he's already there, then it's just a long skill to jump down.
But it's a no, it's not a roll, so you don't get revealed.
You don't
from
have
it.
to. Yeah, movement skills don't reveal you out of camo. For that tech coffin, you don't actually have to do anything. Yeah, it's a short skill for that. Yeah. So he's moving a Gulam forward observer, I believe, into base to base with this right antenna. 14 or less. Ooh. I think you should switch your dice, Rory.
Oh no.
Get some different dice. Use these ones.
What was his whip?
14. Yeah, it's like a 70% chance.
75% chance dice rolls this entire.
Is he a hacker? Does he get a modifier to it?
Still, it's a 75. It's a 65% chance.
I know.
He would have failed it even with the +3. That's how
Spend
bad the
another
roll
order,
was.
Sorry.
So, missed on the antenna roll, unfortunately. Let's see if a camo token jumped through the window here in the middle of the room.
But he's spaced with that.
Middle of that board here. Spend another order on the camo token. Just assuming no AROs here, so he's going the full 4-4 through the building.
Does hacking reveal me?
Yeah, rolling on the rolling will reveal. Spin another one. Looks like it's an Al-Hawa hacker.
This guy gets the +3.
Yeah, so the hackers get +3. He rolled another 18, so that's
Is he a 15 or a 14?
that's a fail. He's a 14. Hawa hackers are 14.
Okay, now I just feel bad, Rory.
Yeah.
Get the tournament reroll dice in there.
Having fun. It's like every single thing I did is fucked up.
That dice has rolled 18s twice.
That's your armor save dice.
Your armor save dice.
I'm gonna roll an armor save. I'm gonna roll a fucking 2.
You got 2 orders left, eh?
Now that's like the whole fucking defensive thing I had there too.
Bit of a kink in the plan. You needed those orders to get those consoles. Now it's a decision
I'm just gonna
between
tell you what
trying
I'm gonna
again
do, right?
for the points or trying to
That's
set
the
up
data.
defensively.
He's just going to touch the middle thing. That's all that he cares about. He's the data scan guy, or the data. What's it called?
Data tracker.
Data tracker. All he has to do is just move into base. Just
How
stop
many
him from
orders you
moving
got
into
left,
base of that
Rory?
thing.
2.
2 and
Well, technically, right now, if those guys survive, you've got 2 objective points because you get 1 each for being in contact with those
Yeah, I won't have
antennas.
enough orders to go get them, but you should probably put him back into camo state. Like I'd spend 1 to hack it again, and then go into camo state. He's not in line of fire right now. He can do it.
can't hold the objective if you do that.
But
Yeah, it has to be the model, not a marker.
well, it won't matter if I get my Yodam to touching this, right?
Yeah.
But if I don't get my Yodam touching that,
Well,
then you get the hack console
what you
point.
could do, Rory, is you can say first skill move and move the Hawa hacker to that blue building, try and get him out of line of sight. Second skill, try and activate.
He's out of line of sight right now too. I was saying if you don't go into marker state, he's gonna get blasted off the board.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you could maybe potentially move him behind that teal building and just like get out of line of sight, then he'll be within like hacking range and out of line of sight. And it also gives him another roll to try and get that antenna, because like you can move and hack the antenna.
That's a good point. You put him right here and he just pins him down.
Yeah, like it depends if you think between that console where he is and the.
So move, hack.
Yeah, there you go.
I think he doesn't help me to do this. I was just gonna run him up as far as I could and drop him on.
That works too. I mean, the nice thing though is when he activates Yodam now, you're probably within hacking range.
There They're just gonna bug me out. But I have an engineer right beside him.
Okay, here's watch me fail a hack.
You got it.
So you capture this, right?
Yeah, so Rory has the orange antenna.
Back in the camera.
Ah, it's like I got put on tilt so hard there. Like,
You had some really bad rolls. Yeah.
I failed every jam escape, and I failed
2 objectives.
every whip roll other
Yeah.
than that one right there.
Yeah.
Jams aren't as easy to get, I guess, as a.
I was 35% chance of success. How's that on easy?
Because I'm
Mathematically,
going face to face against you a lot of times too.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, but
jams with
still, though,
Gazzies.
you're not going for a 15. You're beating me when I have a higher percentage.
Gazzies need 15s.
Yeah, these are whip 15. Yep.
Well, then I get an armor save as well. I
Yeah.
passed up 1 or 2 of those.
It's like probably a 30% chance, I think.
That's a BTS save.
Yeah.
So I'm up to 7.
Have you been rolling armor saves?
Nope.
Yeah. So how many orders Sid got now? 7 still, or?
I think 7. So this guy's got me pinned down, right? I guess we'd have to pre-measure to see if he's within hacking range.
Yeah, you can't pre-measure, so you gotta
So I gotta just go for it.
go for it.
Nothing else to kamikaze at it.
It's a dicey scenario here. There's an assault hacker
Well, I
probably
mean, this is
within
last
8
turn,
inches of
so
Yodam.
I can just basically choose my battles this round. Shoot Rory off the board. I get stuff into base, so I need a lot of orders for that. I don't know.
And right now, Rory
We'll
has.
just let's get this over with. Do what we were saying. So
Yeah.
Activating him.
yeah, check the range right now.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
All right.
Cool.
You're probably.
Still be a reset. I guess shouldn't have measured that yet. It's all right. So you reveal as well.
Yeah, hold on a sec. It's kind of undertone.
Isolation.
Carbonite at +3.
You can.
Mobilize 1. Yeah, total control 0. Actually, that's damage 16. There's no buff to it.
You can also try Overlord, and that's Breaker, so that's his BTS. Because it's damage 14. So what do you think's better? Like, even if you roll 2
What's the BTS on you? 9?
2 rolls are typically better than 1 though, eh?
I think in this situation, total control is probably better.
Oh, you're gonna possess him?
That's what I was going to try to do.
Don't possess him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
So there's an arrow hacking with.
Reset. Beep, beep, boop.
So Yodam fails.
Oh no.
Thank God.
So Rory succeeds.
So he's possessed.
No, so now you need to make 2 BTS rolls against damage 16.
And I possess him.
9 plus 9? 18.
18.
9 plus 5.
14.
Yeah. So then, well,
That's a fail?
Damage 16, so that's a fail.
Wait, it's double action?
double.
or-
So that's the double trouble means if he hits 1 success equals 2 rolls.
yeah.
So similar to double action
But it's
shooting.
not AP.
But it's just normal.
not
So
breaker.
that's the choice that we were talking about. Is do you make
Yeah.
him roll once at breaker special ammo, or do you
Yeah.
make him roll twice without?
So I passed them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rory.
Yeah, you're.
So unfortunately, Yodam passed his BTS rolls.
Well, it's going to be over pretty quick, I think. I'll just move into base to base with the thing and end it.
No, it might be a. Yeah.
But yeah, start taking pot shots.
Yodam is now making his way towards the main
Shoot at the all.
tech coffin in the middle.
Where was your first move to?
I went backwards. Something like this.
Moved out of hacking range.
I
Yeah.
sure as hell hope so.
I managed to make every armor save. I failed every single one.
Yeah.
Every time I play the same thing, man. Fucking boring.
It's like how me and other Scott play. Always
Like I should
Rolls
have
like-
had. You should have lost 3 orders. Turn 1. I should
Yeah.
have jam shit. Turn 1. Nothing. And
yeah.
I lose shit.
Well, at least you know you're playing it right. Like it was just the dice were.
That's the frustrating. That's even more frustrating.
Yeah.
I'd love to know I was making mistakes that I could improve on. I can't fucking make the dice roll better.
Yeah.
You hear me, Internet?
Probably 2 success. Shooting here. And you were dodging.
You're -6, Sid, aren't you? Or are you
-6?
camo and cover?
Oh, you're the TO camo guy.
I crit my dodge anyway.
Okay.
So the Alhawa crits his dodge.
Let's get out of my line of sight. We'll keep moving.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. This week, if you're around to game, like Thursday or
arrows over
Friday. Yeah, I saw. That's my dad's turning 60, so yeah, that's
I
valid.
feel it's going to the edge of the cover.
Yeah, lots of gaming
I don't wanna be
days
seen by the
coming up.
opposite
Yeah.
yet. I'll stay out of line of sight.
That's yeah. I think the we should always try and like
now I'm back
triangulate
on
the
my
community
short
at one
scope.
location, get as many people as we can out for sure.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I'll take my
totally.
second short scope.
Don't split it on the same day. Yeah, totally.
At the missile
So we
drone.
play. I think we're doing another one of these on October 3rd. So that's going to be
Okay, so if I
that,
move
and
it
then
all, then I get hit by him?
every Friday we're at Hidden City, and then if monthly gaming days elsewhere.
Spend another
So,
order in
yeah,
shop. So here's
cool.
the missile
Awesome.
drone.
Okay, take care. Yeah. See ya.
Thanks. We'll see. He might just stuff me right now. I'm running out of orders. Okay, then up to here then. All right, let's just do this.
See the smart missile launcher AROing Yodam.
Okay, so you're in cover. Rangeman's good.
I'm probably +3 -3.
So I'm looking for an 11.
Yeah. So Sid,
3 hits?
you're actually 12, Rory. That thing's it's BS 12. No, that thing is it's BS 12. It's higher than the rest.
Higher than this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
You were off by 1. Yeah.
all right. So 3 armor saves.
Cool. Watch my armor save dice.
So 3 heavy machine gun shots on the smart missile.
60.
You're good. You got cover.
Oh, right.
That one.
13. That's a fail. That's a bad.
No, 13's a pass.
Yeah, 10 is not good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Running out of orders though. It's almost over.
So Yodam's making his
Alpha
way.
seed.
Up to the facility.
That's up to the
One
seed.
fucking, that was what I was saying. I meant to put him on suppression.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So one shot to rule them all.
One shot to rule them all. Oh, I rolled 3 crappy. Check the range band.
Highest is
So you guys are within. Are you within 16 inches?
At 16?
So just
Out of 16?
so they're at +3.
+3 -3s?
Yeah. So 2 hits with an 11 and a 3.
11 is my best roll.
so I'm at BS 12.
13. Sid's 13. +3.
-3.
It depends. Like, is Yodam out of cover?
I'm touching cover.
But do you have 30%?
Shit. If it's like this, doesn't matter. I just inched him out.
The trouble
what,
for you
Rory?
is
Make
like
it, to make it interesting, let's say I don't have cover.
the trouble for you is that the thing giving you cover is that barrel because that's what you're touching, right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't make up 30% of your. So
I need anything higher than 11, not exceeding a 16.
yeah,
Oh, you dick.
just cocked.
I didn't
9.
know. 1 hit.
So 1 hit against the Facade.
It's not over yet.
8. So I need an 8.
Yeah.
Oh, alive. 3 orders left.
I only had to piece that out.
I wonder where that DEP somewhere in there.
How many orders you got left, Sid?
I'm spending my 3rd last.
Third last
So
order.
just shoot him
Last
again.
turn of the game, right?
Yeah, this is the last turn. It's this moment right here.
I love this game, but holy
I'm sorry.
shit, does it piss me off so
Yeah, when you get on a bad tear with rolling, it's
We'll move within 8, 16 band. Touch that thing. Arrow. Please tell me there's not like a hacker standing right there. I didn't even bother to check.
no.
Get an arrow, grenade launcher shout at you.
Okay, I'm gonna arrow a DEP shot.
So we're doing a grenade launcher shot versus
What does DEP stand for?
disposable explosive projectile, I think.
Panzerfaust.
Yeah.
And you're within 60, that's +3 for me.
-3 for your cover.
Yeah.
I guess I don't get covered.
So no cover for Yodam. So Rory's firing a grenade launcher at +3. He's looking for 16s.
Light grenade launcher, so I'm at +3,
Yeah.
13.
Normal ammo. Yeah, it's normal. It's like a grenade.
It's an explosive weapon?
No.
No, mine is though.
Your DEP? Oh yeah. It's like a rocket
So I
launcher.
got one shot at 16, damage
Sid only gets one. The DEP is only a one burst weapon though, so you only need a one shot.
13.
I'll pass.
Sid rolls a 10.
It's up to you, Rory.
Rory rolls an 18. The dice are not very favorable for Rory here. Yeah, man, you're just rolling 17s and 18s and like
I
17s.
feel dirty.
So that's just an explosive, or is it AP?
explosive.
Oh, wow.
14.
It's 3 dice. Explosive is 3 dice, and it's AP plus, so it's also.
So I'm at 3 plus 2, so I'm at 5. No, I'd be at 3.
You're at 6 because you go from and it's damage 14, so you need 9s.
9. 1. 2. No,
That's 6.
doesn't even matter. I was pretty good.
Alright. I'm sorry. Do you want to shake my
Well, that's
Are we done? Like, so we got 3.
Yeah.
I got.
you've got 2, Rory.
Because he failed the fucking hack.
Yeah.
Tied it if he
Well, and,
the
yeah.
I'll tell you my,
So it looks like,
secret
as
strategy
far as I can
later.
tell, the final score is 5. Sid had 5. Rory had 2. Because Rory hacked an antenna and had control of an antenna, and then Sid had control of the tech coffin with his data tracker. I'm assuming that's correct.
I think you're you're
Good
owed
game, guys.
A good day of rolling. I think you're owed a good day of rolling.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I'm starting to believe in the power of dice, though. Like, certain ones just suck. Yeah.
I beat Scott Coley on Friday, and I've just been having a really good weekend for gaming.
Was he using the orange Eugene dice? Or
I
was
don't know, maybe.
Okay. I made him use those, and they didn't do so well.
I don't know. I just like. I don't feel like I roll particularly good or bad on average.
You haven't had a game like that, man, where nothing's gone your way. It's not fun.
Let me buy you a drink at least.
Yeah, I have no problem. No, man, it's a fun game. I get frustrated, but it's just like.
Oh, that was
I'm
that was
feeling-
pretty horrendous rolling.
Like the amount of 75% chances that I failed, like statistically, like I failed all of my jams, all of them. I didn't jam a single thing.
That was the game I played against Scott Foley. I threw 7 smoke grenades and missed all of them on 15s.
Well, whatever. Then my next game's be good.
It'll work out.
Shut up.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. I don't roll your dice for you. I'm just playing it out.
You did have lots of dice to switch because I honestly feel like some just suck.
I hate that it makes me as mad as it does, but it really fucking makes me.
That's funny. Yeah, actually, I was thinking those ones we got from the Magic players were like, I guess they're from Josh. They seem to roll a bit lower.
Mine, that was the 18s that I'm rolling the entire game. I didn't roll anything under a fucking 16 the entire game.
It's because they're Magic card dice. They don't like to be using Infinity.
Yeah, and the other ones I got from Max.
No, that's your problem. Is it still on? Just kidding. I have no preference, no bias to any establishments in the gaming community. Unless they pay me.
You can sell me a set of dice that work. Oh God.
Promote you all day long.
It's actually Justin's apparently.
Yeah? Yes. It's a good idea to write them on the bottom. Yeah, man. Putting the Yodam as the lieutenant is the scariest thing.
Yeah, when you tucked him in the corner, like I considered spending a bunch of orders. But then you had that other guy right behind him too. You just had the perfect spot for him.
I thought it was pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, the trick with Fide is like if you could have gotten behind him, he couldn't flamethrower you.
Yeah.
You would have to.
Well, initially when you made that first move, you weren't even facing him. Then you turned him after you realized what was going to happen.
Then he says you can bring him his stuff later.
Oh, that's good. Oh, is it on?
He took off, yeah.
Oh my god.
There's a bunch of your tokens up there too.
Okay. That's okay.
That's not that far out. It's small.
Yeah, if I could roll that puncher from you, that'd be sweet. I mean, at least I know I didn't make any tech errors. I think I played a solid game, had things gone my way. Like, if every jam I tried to do in the video worked out, that would have been 3 orders right off the hop.
I wouldn't even mind those guys being jammed though, right?
Like, it was back there, and